This might be pretty boring here for a minute, but I like for people to get in. It's going to be kind of quick. I probably shouldn't have did this live. I probably should have did this just in a video, but I like doing lives occasionally. Let you guys hear what's coming in over the network, like this little fart that we had. So I'm trying to get people to understand that this network is primarily made up of simplex nodes. People that are in areas that do not have repeaters in their areas, and they come to the realization that why put up a repeater if there's nobody else in this area to talk to. So they start with a simplex node, and that's the recommended route that I recommend people to start with. But if you have the extra change and you have a lot of cash to throw at it, by all means, go ahead and get yourself a repeater and still need to connect it to a network because you can't talk to anybody that willing to talk to you anyways on the local air. I mean, you could sit there and throw your call sign out all day long for weeks and months on a repeater does not mean that you're ever going to get anybody back in certain areas of the country. That's not the same for all areas, and I understand that. So don't comment, well, it's busy in my area. Yes, I understand. Different areas have different busyness. But the reason why I want to make this video is we have simplex nodes that are in areas that don't that are just outside of these other bigger networks that are out there that they're just outside or they need to be tied to their base to be able to talk to these repeaters where they have a node that's in their house and they can walk around freely, so they like that idea better than being tied to a desk. So what I'm trying to do with this video is trying to extend out my users. Everybody attacks me. They forget this network is not just about me. I'm showing a little bit too much chest there. This network is not about me and my craziness. And you could vet these people that are in your area before you let them in or whatever you want. But I want to make this video to try to reach out to the other network owners and say, hey, there are people in your state, there are people in your just outside of your area on this network, and I would like for them to be able to dial over to you. What is so wrong with them having a simplex node and dialing into your repeater? And if they're then at least you know that they're not going to be all scratchy. Then it gives them the ability to walk around their house. You know, you don't have to like me to let them in. And it's as simple as a little bit of communication between the networks. You input their node number in, I input their node number in. I released a video not that long ago that totally releases you completely from a network to where you can do direct connection if you know how. Well, these other networks that are on these other networks that, like my GMRS or GMRS Live, they have little clicks and they're areas, and we have people on this network that are just outside of those areas, and that's why I want to reach out, and this is the only way I know how to reach out to the admins without really kind of pushing an email out to everybody behind closed doors. You know, where I want to make it known, I want to work with people and actually give people a way to move around. You know, at first it was all just stay here. You know, there really wasn't nothing years ago. There was no other network between besides my GMRS and this one, and now it's stemmed out, and there's other networks that are branching out, and it's like, why? If you look at the amateur community, they allow their stuff to be able to bridge over and be able to connect and go through. And I have made videos in the past and said anybody's welcome here. Well, to be honest with you, there has not been anybody that has a that hasn't had a call sign that has joined physically buying the hardware and getting in here. They have all had call signs. Now I can't say that because we're simplex nodes that George down the road overheard this on his little Midland that he picked up at Walmart, and now he's got an opportunity to use his little Midland he picked up at Walmart because he's hearing everybody on the network. Now, I can't say that I'm not going to stop them. You know, that's where the door opens, and the FCC let that door open, not the network. not the network like a lot of people think. And like I said, with this agreement between all of the networks, I would hope that I would allow you to vet the person. You could check their call signs if you want to. By all means, do your own process. You know they have the hardware. And the thing is I've made this to where my end users are clueless as to what the software is, and I'm okay with that. But I've made it easy enough to say if I don't want to throw a certain group out here. I don't know if there's an Idaho group. If Idaho, just for shits and giggles, I got a guy in Idaho that's just outside of a repeater network, and the guy in Idaho wants to be able to connect to the Idaho network. Well, I can input the Idaho
Good
network
morning.
across, and it would go to his node. You would input his node in your system, and then that would let his node only in there. Where if if somebody else from out of the Idaho area tries to get in there from a different node number, then it wouldn't get in. It wouldn't allow them in, even though it's in my system. But if I get somebody else in Idaho down the road that joins because they got a simplex node, then I could add they I don't have to add anything else in there. They're already in there. They just have to contact you to get your permission to add their equipment in there, which I could do the exchange to myself. I have no issue with doing it behind the scenes, just telling, just saying, all right, I got Timbuktu in Idaho, and, you know, um, he wants to be able to connect. All right, let's see. I need to set up a node for my mutual agreement net group. Are you still selling the hardware? No, I do not sell the hardware. I live in Fulham, and we have no repeaters where we are near. I do not sell the hardware. I mean, the website has links to a couple of it. If you email me, I know somewhere you can get some pies right now. It's a limit of two per person, which is kind of hindering the thing. Um, but I am not currently selling the hardware. I got out of that. It made it a business, and this is a hobby for me, and that's why I'm trying to target now the other. I shouldn't say target. I'm targeting. I'm playing target practice. But somebody said I was targeting a network and making in my crosshairs or whatever. But that's why I'm just trying to work with people and trying to give people options. And that's all I'm trying to do. The New England territory, they open their doors up to us, and we're going to try and make it to where any of our users are able to dial into that. But that's everybody that's in this network. They don't care if they're from the New England territory or not. They'll just let them dial in. They don't mind. And which I wish everybody would allow that to happen as well. As these more and more networks progress, it's retarded that we don't have the ability to dial around. So what if we accidentally bridge? You just say something. And even if you don't, what's the problem if you do bridge it? What is the problem? Okay, you might get that random person that might be in that random city that might pick up just one random person without a call sign. Okay. So what? Like I said, that's not your problem. That's the FCC's problem. Let them deal with that. There's a reason. Okay, if you guys look at the rules, and everybody wants to be sticklers on the rules, so I'm going to tell you the rules. Phone calls here. So I'm going to tell you some rules. The amateur community has to have a repeater shutdown at all times. It has to have somebody that is able to shut it down, and that's why it's mainly repeaters for GMRSs or with clubs, because then the club has multiple people that has that ability. If you look at GMRS, it doesn't even have to ID. So anything that goes over that repeater is not the repeater owner's responsibility, because it's when you put up a GMRS repeater, you put it up for anybody that has a license to use. And it's not your responsibility to vet anybody that goes through your repeater. I mean, it's now as far as like jamming the airwaves and stuff like that. where with people playing music or whatever, or the sirens. All right, there's that's a little bit of a different story. To me, I don't care what the law says. The person's becoming an issue right now. I what are we gonna do? I mean, okay, go on a fox hunt. Whoop de fucking do. Let's go on a fox hunt. Let's go find this guy. All right, we found this dude. Now what are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna send a letter to the SEC. Meanwhile, my repeater's still off because he keeps causing problems. All right, so now you got the FCC sent an email, and what do? You never know. I mean, there's an actions. There is an actions page. If you want to go look, there is an actions and see when the last time they actually did something. And so, um, okay, they send out a cease and desist letter to this bozo. Well, you turn your repeater back on because you've seen they took action. They sent them a cease and desist letter. And you turn your repeater back on, and shit, somebody else is doing it. He gave his radio to a friend down the road. So to me, I'd rather just fucking wallywop them right back. Okay, you want to sit there and play a siren? Okay, you play a siren. I'm gonna turn on that fucking siren from what the hell is it? Um, the aerator siren from Purge. I'll double down and play that to you. You want to play your fucking siren from the Belfang to us? Great. We'll turn on some Roger beeps and really get back at you. I mean, and yeah, there. When I heard, I'm sorry, I heard a group say that they shut down a repeater because somebody was playing a siren over it from a no from a hub or from a repeater. They were during a net and some guy kept playing the siren and they shut the node down. And I'm like, that's not net control. That net control needs to take control of that traffic. And if I had that problem, I'd be dealing with it, and not by dropping that node. All you're doing is feeding into that person. You know, by you're giving that person what they want. You're shutting them off. They apparently didn't want to listen to that net, so they fucked with it and got it shut off. Me, on the other hand, I would fuck with them right back. Okay, hold on, everybody. Somebody clearly wants some attention. Let's give it to them. Go ahead, come on, buddy. Let's go. Okay, wait a minute. But this is a repeater network. So they could walk right over it, too, if they really wanted to. But there goes one of my rants again. And it's probably going to make it to where these other people are not going to want to join or let my people join because, again, they can't get past me, even though I'm trying to do this for my users. So, which nobody seems to care about that I have users that are here. And they do want to go to other places. They want to check other places out. Now that these other places are coming up, it's like, well, how am I going to tell you? I mean, I want to make it easy enough to just dial around instead of pulling out your SD card and putting in another SD card or swapping pies out. There's a reason why I put my Simplex nodes in boxes, and I forewarn people, leave it the fuck alone. Just don't touch it. Put it on your shelf. It'll last forever. When you start playing with it, I can't guarantee it's going to last forever, and then you're going to have to send it back for a fucking, what do I call it, warranty claim with me. Yeah, for those of you that may or may not know, if you have a node that I have made in the 600s, if you have a 600 node and I made your node, that's one of the ones that I made, and it does not work, there should be no reason why it doesn't work. The only reason why it's not working is because you have not gotten a hold of me. And if we can't get it working, then we can't get it working. But if you didn't get a hold of me and that thing's not working, that problem is yours. Let's make it mine because I warranty what I do. And if it's something that's simple enough, it can be fixed, swapped out, replaced. Let's get you back on the air. All right, so thanks for watching. I've seen I had a couple of people comment and review and stuff here. And I don't agree with using, well, actually, yeah, I guess I can. Use MERS. MERS is great for that, but if you, to each his own, what they do with the linking stuff. If you watch one of my videos, in the bottom of the RPT file, I put a line in there. If you just change it up with IP addresses and stuff, you don't need to be affiliated with a network. Um, you just change that up with IPs and make sure your ports are open and all that fun jazz. If you don't know how to open your ports, then you need to Google it. I'm not going to share that. Everybody's router's different. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm going to save this, I think. I don't know. I like my beard. I like tugging on it. It's kind of fun. All right, where's that damn off button? There it is. Stop streaming. There we go.